What's going on, everybody? My name is Andrew Oliva and I love to review movies. Black Panther Wakanda Forever is directed by Ryan Coogler and stars Letitia Wright, Lupita Nyong'o, Danielle Guerra, and Angela Bassett. I was really excited for this movie. Haven't been a huge fan of Marvel recently, so I was hoping this would be a huge breath of fresh air, and thankfully it is. I love this movie, guys. I'm not sure if it's better than the first movie. I may have liked this movie more than the first one, but I think the first one may still be a better made movie. I don't know. This can be a very divisive movie, I think, on whether it's better than the first one. I think some people are going to prefer this movie over the first one. I still don't know where I stand. Probably after more rewatches, I'll probably get a better understanding of where I land on that. But as of right now, I just don't know. I enjoyed both of them equally. I'm going to get started with the good, because I have quite a bit. This movie is a lot more mature, and they were dealt a really bad hand with the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman, and I was really curious how they were going to address his death in this movie, and I can thankfully say I had tears in my eyes the first 5 minutes of the movie. They addressed it in a really good way that made sense with the story they were telling. The whole opening sequence is amazing. Then another thing, Shuri. I wasn't sure what they were going to do with her character. She has kind of been the side character in everything she's been in. So I was curious where they were going to take her character, and I could thankfully say that she was the standout of the movie in my opinion. She is the main character of the movie, but she stood out. I wasn't sure if she was going to be able to lead a film by herself, and she did, man. She did. She brought tears to my eyes. Speaking of tears, Angela Bassett, she can act, man. She gives one of the most heartbreaking monologues in this movie, and it broke my heart. I wouldn't be surprised if she gets nominated for an Oscar. She deserves it. Another pro, Namor. We are introduced to Namor in this movie, and from the trailers, he looked like a really intriguing character, but I wasn't sure exactly how much they were going to flesh him out, and I could say for the most part, he was a really well-written character that makes you understand what his motives are, and at times you're even siding with him. So I really appreciate what they did with this character. He's very threatening at times, but they know when to find the humanity in him. There are a couple issues with his character that I'll get to in my cons, but for the most part, I really enjoyed his character. And then the visuals in this movie are beautiful. When we're underwater and we're seeing the underwater city with Namor, there's a sequence that just blew my mind. It was so beautiful. And it didn't even feel like I was watching a Marvel movie. It felt like I was watching something completely else. And it was really refreshing to see. That being said, I have a few issues with the movie. In the beginning, there was a lot of jumping around, which has to do with various subplots that I wasn't a huge fan of. Mainly doing with Martin Freeman's character and in the entire CIA subplot. I didn't love that. It could have been taken out completely and it wouldn't have changed a thing. Every time we jumped back to that subplot, I found myself being taken out of the film, and I wish they just scrapped that completely. It's only in there to tie things with the grander Marvel universe, and it didn't need to be in the movie. And like I said before, I wanted to see more. I wanted to explore Namor more. They do a good job at introducing ideas with Namor, his viewpoints on the world, and how he kind of sees the rest of the world. But I kind of wish they dove more into that. They could use that time that the subplot of Martin Freeman, and they could have scrapped that and gave us more time with Namor. I felt like that would have made for a more compelling villain. Not that he isn't compelling already, but it could have really shot him up to the top tier Marvel villain. He is a really good villain, but I wouldn't say top tier. And some of the CGI and green screen is a little wonky at times. There's some action scenes that were a little shaky with the CGI, and there are some times where you can definitely tell actors are just in front of a green screen, especially in Wakanda. It's beautiful, but you can tell that there's a green screen there. And then there's some cheesy dialogue that took me out of the movie, especially with Riri Williams, who is introduced in this movie as Ironheart. And some of the things she said was just some really cheesy, and it felt out of place in this movie. But yeah, for the most part, I really enjoyed this movie. Only a few things that could have been better, but this is definitely a worthy sequel of the first movie. It has one of the most badasses introductions for a villain, with being the Talokians. I don't know what they're called. They're the Atlanteans of the Marvel Universe, and the entire introduction of them is just gave me chills. I think it's one of the best introductions of a villain or army, I guess. In a Marvel movie, I'd say it was really well introduced. And yeah, everything to do with the action. The action was better in this movie, I think, in the first movie. There are some ways that Ryan Coogler shot the action that I wasn't a huge fan of, but for the most part, it was still really good. There were some like camera movements that took me out of the movie. It was kind of like over choreographed in my opinion, and it didn't really need to be. There was some of it was really jump cutty. There was a lot of cuts in the action, especially in some of the earlier sequences, and I wish that could have been polished a little bit more. But other than that, this is a near perfect sequel, guys. I had a great time watching this movie. Let me know what you thought about the movie. Did you like it? Was it up to your expectations, or were you disappointed with it? I've been hearing mixed things on this movie, but I'm definitely in the higher group that really loved this movie. I wouldn't say loved it. It was okay. I really enjoyed the movie, guys. With that being said, make sure you click the like button, subscribe. It helps me out so much. But other than that, have a great day.